Hey, sports fans, it's world champion handicapper Mike North. Punch this number in your phone right now. If you're driving, pull over. 1-800-808-3419. 1-800-808-3419 for a free pick and info for the premier handicapping site in the country, VegasScoresAndOdds.com. It's the only site you'll ever need with expert handicappers like John Anthony, Denny Macklin, Tony Sacco, Ray Monahan, yours truly, and many more. Check out the homepage of VegasScoresAndOdds.com for a tote board with your buddy. Follow Vegas Scores and Odds on Twitter and dial up 1-800-808-3419. It's 1-800-808-3419, 1-800-808-3419, or go to VegasScoresAndOdds.com.
Tonight on Blitz, after a hard loss in London, is it time to start panicking about the Bears? Plus, Jay Gruden's keys didn't work on Monday. And can the NFL suspend Robert Kraft already? All that and more, so sit back and crack a cold one. It's time to get Blitz. Welcome to Blitzed, where we talk NFL and rate popular drinks at the same time. We're coming to you live from the Blitz Bar, and our keys still work this Monday, so I guess we're still on the Big Play Sports Network.
For now.
That's true. Give it time. It was a wild Week 5 in the NFL, highlighted by yet another awesome Thursday night game between the Seahawks and the Rams.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Take it easy, sub. And a classic defensive stand from the upstart Indianapolis Colts. This is one for you, Matt.
Freaking amazing.
Who have found their groove with new quarterback Jacoby
Marlon
Brissett.
Mack? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It can't hurt.
Yeah,
it can't hurt.
Yeah.
But it's off the field where we're going to concentrate tonight, specifically on dumb fan behavior.
Does that happen?
The worst franchise in the NFL and the NFL's conduct policy, which is a way of catching really undeserving players and employees in its net and letting the biggest fish go.
Wow, good lead-in.
It's not bad,
wonder
right?
what our take is on that one.
No, it's so good. It's so good, right? And speaking of conduct policy, let's introduce some guys who would still show up even if we suspended them.
Introducing tonight's starting lineups. The coach,
Seriously, I did not know about this. This is so awesome.
the rookie,
Get out there and smash.
and stats.
I'm just the stats guy. I have no idea. That's kind of my thing. That's kind of my thing.
Rookie and Clippy are out tonight, serving a one-show suspension for violating our personal conduct policy. And speaking of not showing up, our drink of the week is dedicated to the Cowboys, who laid a big-time egg against the Packers, which I turned off when it was like 31-3. So tonight, this drink is dedicated to the Green Bay Packers. This is the Packers Apple Cocktail. This is not an apple teeny. I wonder, hey, do we see, is this like showing through to our bar? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It looks like Pepsi Clear.
It is. Actually, it is
amazing.
Pepsi Clear. We're just
That's all we're
lying.
drinking tonight.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, this one has Irish whiskey, apple schnapps, and some cranberry juice in it. It's supposed to have an apple garnish, but you ate all the apples. Yeah. Is there anything you won't eat?
No.
Okay, good stuff. You're a very big man.
First down.
Okay, the Bears dug a 17-0 hole in London, couldn't really move the ball effectively against the Raiders, and worst of all, couldn't get to Carr on Sunday.
Yes.
Is it time to panic?
Yes.
The sub says yes.
Well, they've lost. Yeah, if Trubisky doesn't come back,
Chase Daniels not looking
he wasn't looking super sweet.
No, he made a couple of stupid passes. Sure enough.
Can Khalil Mack throw and catch the ball?
No, he cannot. He also can't tackle quarterbacks anymore because they get rid of the ball too quickly. So, I mean, he was nullified, dude. He had 3 tackles, and I think he breathed on Carr at one point.
And the Raiders
that was about it.
And the Raiders had 4 sacks.
And the Raiders had 4 sacks.
And the Raiders had 4 sacks. I will repeat.
Good for you,
Gruden,
Coach.
this could be like the the Gruden Buccaneers though, playing against his former player.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yep.
He was triple teamed the whole game.
Yeah, but you don't game plan against one dude. The point is that they bitch kicked the Raiders in the first half, outgaining them by about a 4-1 margin. They dominated, and they up 17-0. Basically, the game's over at that point.
Yeah, it felt like it.
And then you got to put all this pressure on Chase to throw the ball. I mean,
You're on your backup quarterback. Yeah, putting pressure on to win games is tough.
yeah.
So the question is how important is Akeem Hicks to this team? Because he was gone in the first 10 minutes or something like that, and he is a run-stuffing marvel. The guy is amazing.
Well, he's a top 100 player.
100%, right?
You know?
And I think that made a huge difference in this game when he was out. He frees up linebackers to come in and get pressure, so they don't have to shed any blocks, and they can either get to the quarterback or they can get to the running backs easier or back to their drops, whatever they do. I think he was a huge loss to this game as an incredible D tackle.
And Robinson, he got his first 2 touchdowns, right? So I mean,
no, they
if
came
you got
out
more pressure. If you had more pressure on Carr, then maybe you have a better chance. But is there something to be said about flying so far? I mean, the Oakland this season specifically, their next home game's not till November 7th or something like that.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah.
They're the road warriors, so they are now used to playing on the road the last few weeks.
I see.
So I think they're London to them, okay, just another road game. Whereas Chicago, the flight, the time change. Oakland was already in the East Coast, fly to London a week early. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with
Never use
travel.
that as an excuse. Never use it.
You can't.
Terrible excuse.
And the reason why they couldn't get to Carr is because the vaunted Bear run D got run all over by Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They couldn't do anything
He was
right
great,
in that
though.
game.
He was great. That's
great, but I mean,
speaking of draft picks and your your tweet the other day about are we even with the
well,
trade?
that's something to think about.
It's honestly
is the Mac trade even?
I think the comments weren't very favorable, but I'm looking at going, I don't know. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a hell of a running back.
Oh, you can be a homer through this entire thing, but not look at the evidence. Point is that the Bears have Mac, the Raiders are still getting draft picks, and they got beaten by the Raiders.
When he's coming into his own now, game 5 of the season, he's trying to feel where he needs to be, trusting the line, following his blocks, getting to know the offense a little bit better. So, I mean, that's, he's
Fair
finding
question.
himself. Yeah.
Fair question.
Wow.
And
The
of course,
mood in here sucks.
and they're a little bit cheaper. They're a little bit cheaper
just
than
a
Khalil Mack right now.
little bit
Just a
cheaper
bit
than
cheaper
Mac.
than him.
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough.
And I don't think it's time to pack in or throw in the towel here. But I mean, there is concern. There has to be concern. With
And
the
it's
Bears
not
right now.
just
It's gotta be.
concern with the fact that the Bears had a bit of a stinker, okay, in London. It's the fact that Kirk Cousins finally decided to start throwing the ball accurately, had the best day, arguably, of his career against the Giants, and the Packers dominated the Cowboys on the road before they lost interest.
You like that?
Yeah, exactly, right?
But I mean, that's a
And by the way, Detroit's playing good ball.
You mentioned
right?
earlier Detroit. I mean, so this is probably one of if the toughest division in the NFL right now.
I'm panicking.
Ah!
No. I asked the question. Are
Oh.
you panicking?
Oh,
You're
right.
not. I am panicking.
I'm not panicking yet.
What? I am.
I won't panic
You're
unless
a panicker, though.
My pants are off.
panicking.
Can you put your pants back on?
If-
Stats,
Yeah, I will.
please?
I will. I'll
Thank
put 'em back
you.
If Hicks doesn't come back, I will panic.
Really?
If Trubisky doesn't come back, you panic.
Nah.
What?
Nah.
Yeah. Now,
Jay Fiedler.
The freaking Bears need a
what's his
run
name?
game.
Fiedler.
No, Jay Cutler comes back.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Now
Don't.
panicking.
Don't.
No,
Don't.
The biggest issue I have with the Bears, I've had it all season, is they need a run game, and they just don't really have one. I thought Montgomery's been great. I think he's going to be okay, but whether it's the line, whether it's him, whether it's the scheme, whatever's going on, they are not running the ball well. And with that great of a defense, if you can run the ball, you are going to win a lot of games, regardless of how good your quarterback does.
Especially as the weather turns.
Exactly. So
Well, in that division, that's the smash mouth division, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so if Hicks is there,
Because when you go to the Dome in Detroit, you got to run the ball.
Well,
and when
Green
you
Bay.
go to that heated facility in Minnesota, I mean, you got to be able to run the ball, right? Yeah.
You do. What about Green Bay? Chicago, playing at home. Come on.
That's my point. You're trying to make it seem like everyone's battling in the snow and they're just fucking
didn't
pussies
understand.
in
You just
Minnesota.
have 2 states. Everyone else plays in the snow.
his tone just was lost on
I know,
me.
really.
Really?
Yeah, your tone was just lost
Wow.
on me.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been known as the smash mouth division.
Yeah, back when they used to play outside.
I thought it was the
Well, Green Bay's still outside. Chicago's still outside.
Well, so there's still 2 teams that aren't. It's 2 of
I thought
4.
The AFC North was more of a
They have to
smash
play
mouth.
home and away.
Oh my God.
And away as well?
Yes.
Unreal. Wow.
8 home games.
Do you want to be the new stats guy?
No, 8
New
home,
stats guy. The sub coming after my job.
Stats.
8 home games and 1 game in Green Bay. So more than half their games are outside in the winter months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you just drop some big knowledge on us?
Stats.
I'm still trying to track that one
I'm
down.
blown away.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm tracking it down.
gobsmacked by your
You
intelligence.
can't win football
that word. Yeah,
games
I can't
if you lose. Okay,
Wow.
guys?
You have to score more points than your opposition.
God, you should get into
That's how
coaching.
you win.
Seriously. I mean, you got
how you
more
win.
intelligence than the coach does, and he coaches. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Second down.
As we mentioned in the intro, Jay Gruden's key didn't work out this morning, and he's out in Washington. Jay Gruden got fired today, and in fact, the Redskins fired him in the most Redskins way possible.
I know.
They summoned him to the facility at 5 a.m. so he could collect his pink slip. They don't even let the guy sleep in, for God's sakes. I suppose Bill Callahan handed it to him, too, right? Like, hey,
could you
don't let the
imagine?
door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Thanks
So
for being
now
bad.
So now it's up to interim head coach Bill Callahan, who Raiders fans will remember as the one who broke John Gruden's team and took them from Super Bowl contenders to a 4-12 tire fire in just 2 seasons. The odds makers are trying to figure out who's the next head coach in Washington. All the usual names
Yep.
are being
Yep.
thrown out, right?
Yep.
But my question is, why would anyone want this job? And is Washington the worst franchise in the NFL? Who wants this?
Both great questions.
Thank you. Do I
Really?
owe you money?
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
if you
Okay,
could just-
sorry.
yeah,
I'll
that
get
would be
paid
great.
soon. Okay, sorry. Yikes.
I mean, I could look at it less funny and say, and anyone hungry wants a head coaching job, right? I mean, whether you're the next 29-year-old who had a coffee with Sean McVay or whoever you are, but anyone wants to be the big dog of the team. So you're going to get plenty of suitors for this, but the question really has merit because this is a bit of a train wreck of a franchise for many, many years. I mean, even last year they gave their fans hope for the first, 5 or 6 games? I think they were like, 5-0 or 6-0 or 5-1. They were doing really well, and they just imploded again. So, and with the general manager there, I just don't think they don't got the stallions in the stable there, and they just feel like they just feel like not even an NFL team. They just don't feel like they're in the conversation.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with the Redskins, why I think they're the worst right now. People would argue that it's the Dolphins, but the Dolphins at least have a plan. They're, the tanking for 2 or whatever their plan seems to be.
Tanking.
Washington, I mean, it's supposed to be a football town, the sport in the
got
sports
history.
landscape in Washington. They have Adrian Peterson in the winter of his career. They don't have anyone really, you should have had Haskins start. That at least brings people to the stadium. They get to see the rookie quarterback, the first round pick. That might have given Gruden a chance to keep his job if he would have played him. I mean, look at the whole Daniel Jones situation in New York now. The team is not that good, but people are coming. The eyes are coming. They want to come see the new player, the future of their team. They're right now, I think, a boat without a sail. They're adrift. They don't have an identity. They don't have players. They don't have a coach. So this year is a write-off. So as a fan, why would you even want to go to the
What's bringing you in there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, now they've
I'm with
lost all of their games. They've lost in close games, and they could very well easily be 3-1, but they're not. And so they need
really
to do
aren't.
something. So maybe firing the coach is the shakeup that they're going to need, and it's going to right the ship. And Haskins starts next week, and see what brings the fans back.
But what was happening behind the scenes and sort of in front of the veil. You knew Gruden hated Haskins.
Yeah.
Thought he was a bozo.
Yeah.
Can't play football.
Wasn't his
So, of
pick.
course, this is totally on Allen, and he's letting everybody know that, no, I would never play this guy. So, you have guys that evaluate talent in the draft, and you have coaches that evaluate talent on the field.
Yeah.
And so I would look at a guy like Gruden who's looking at Haskins, who probably couldn't hit the side of a barn, even though he had a great completion percentage in college. When I saw
for
him
one season.
in the draft, well, who cares?
Who couldn't hit the side of a barn last year? Lamar Jackson. Look at him now. He's arguably the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Look at his last couple games.
Yeah, fantasy-wise.
We're not talking about fantasy. We're talking about
6
reality.
interceptions?
I live in fantasy.
But I mean, I just think
my whole
what's
whole
Gruden's-
identity is wrapped up in fantasy.
But what's
Suck at
Gruden's
fantasy.
legacy? He's John's brother, and he was a quarterback whisperer in the Arena League.
No,
Give me
he was
break.
a great offensive coordinator
He was.
for Andy Dalton in Cincinnati.
And he's got a great record.
And he was awesome.
Cincinnati, great. Great. How many
You
playoff
could take the
games
Red
have they
Rifle
won
and
in
actually
10
make him a
years?
quarterback? Come on, anybody deserves a shot for that.
They haven't won a playoff game since Boomer Esiason and Ickey Woods in
They
'93.
made the playoffs,
Yeah, fair
though.
enough.
They make the playoffs, something
We throw that
Washington does
quarterback-
not do,
But we
by
throw
the
that
way.
offensive coordinator, quarterback whisperer out too much. He had Andy Dalton, who was he was a good rookie and with a good player with A.J. Green, on his team. I mean, they had the line, they had the receivers, they had the running game. You had Giovanni Bernard. They had all those guys. So is Gruden the reason that Dalton had a good season?
I know for a fact that when you toss out top 5 running backs in the NFL, Giovanni Bernard usually comes up.
Well, he does.
So, yeah, great point.
Yeah,
pretty awesome. Okay, the second half of this question that I had was, is this the worst franchise in the NFL? So I just wanted to pull up this list here for everyone to see. These are all the head coaches that have served under the Dan Snyder regime. In 20 years, we're now at 9 coaches. And Jay Gruden was his longest tenured coach. So that's how you thank the guy for that much time.
Like Mike Shanahan's up there, and
there's some big names up there.
Joe Gibbs, they bring back the legend.
They exhumed Joe Gibbs to come back and actually play coach this team. Outstanding.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's.
And he won 64 games.
Hey, he coached for 64 games.
I got a movie reference.
Oh, my God. Yeah, from 1987.
Wow, whatever.
Good for
I still
you.
got one, man.
Coach, that was your last date in a movie.
I am proud of myself.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
For that
the
movie
biggest
in the
mistake I believe that Dan Snyder ever made with his team was getting rid of Marty Schottenheimer.
I agree.
Who was an awesome coach. He was a terrible playoff coach, but he was a great coach to bring your team back to respectability. And he had an 8-8 record and got canned. That just wasn't good enough. So we brought in Steve Spurrier, the latest toy from Florida, who decided that, well, he would rather golf than actually coach a football team. They were awful. All right, are we done with this topic? Because I got something to announce.
What?
We've got a record breaker to announce. Woo! Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go for a record breaker of the week. We're going to point out a record every week that nobody knows was actually a record that needed to be broken.
Exactly.
Okay? So a couple weeks ago when Fitzpatrick was still playing down in Miami, and this is the one we didn't announce, Ryan Fitzpatrick became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw interceptions for 8 different franchises. So congratulations. That's just, a little golf clap right there. But that's not our record tonight.
He went to Harvard.
Oh, God, did he?
Fitzpatrick did.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick?
He did well in the Wonderlic.
Okay, here's the record that we're talking about tonight. And it's our boy Gardner Minshew, who completed 26 of 44 passes for, what has he got here? 374 yards and 2 touchdowns for a passer rating of 101.9. So Minshew is the first player in NFL history to throw for at least 200 yards and a rating of at least 95.0 in his first 5 career games. Shout out to Tad Dickman for posting this. And is that your real name, Tad Dickman? I'm just asking.
He lives next door to Dick Assman.
Third down.
Conspiracy. 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 Conspiracy.
Normally, on NFL Conspiracies, we talk about how the Patriots are ruining the NFL. And tonight is no exception. Well, indirectly it is. I was reminded this week that Patriots owner Robert Kraft still hasn't received a suspension from the NFL for his admitted solicitation of prostitution in a Jupiter day spa earlier this year. We tweeted that out. Let me just get that up here. There it is. And folks on Twitter responded in one of 3 ways to us. The majority of you said, yeah, what the hell, NFL? Some of you said, don't care, move on. And Patriots fans said, he was found not guilty, fuckers. You guys are biased clowns. Yes, we are biased. And yes, we are clowns.
Check.
But biased clowns? Please. Skip Bayless makes way more money than we do.
Oh.
Before I call conspiracy, let me cite the first paragraph of the player conduct policy.
Can you go fast? It's really boring.
Well, just get on your phone.
Really
just
boring.
do something, okay? Here we go. I'm just going to get rid of this for a second. Okay. It is a privilege to be a part of the National Football League. Everyone who is a part of the league must refrain from conduct detrimental to the integrity or public confidence in the NFL. This includes owners, coaches, players, team employees, game officials, and employees of the league office. We must endeavor at all times to be people of high character. We must show respect for others inside and outside our workplace, and we must strive to conduct ourselves in ways that favorably reflect on ourselves, our team, our communities, and the NFL.
Okay.
So when you get to the definitions of what the NFL considers a violation, it's pretty inclusive. But for the sake of time, let me just cut to the chase here.
Yeah, 'cause I'm bored.
Yeah, I know. Shut
I'm
up.
really
Okay,
bored.
shut up. Normally I'm telling Sub to shut up. You shut up this
but
time,
it's just
okay?
boring.
Here we go. You don't have to be convicted of a crime to be in violation of this policy. You just need to have tarnished the shield in some way. So we'd like to ask, why hasn't Robert Kraft been suspended or fined? And for those of you who think he didn't do anything all that bad, right? Should we go to that graphic? What's
Yep.
he doing there?
Yep.
Is he showing the actual...
Yeah, he's showing what she was doing. He's releasing stress.
Yeah, that's how cocky this guy
that's
is.
How she was holding it like this tight.
Forgive me for using the word cocky.
Yes.
Okay. Here are some examples of what the NFL deems to be fine-worthy. Remember, Robert Kraft has been fined nothing.
$0?
Zero.
Seahawks, Tedrick Thompson, in Week 3, was fined $14,000 for excessive celebration, which you could say Kraft was actually guilty of as well.
Excessively
There's no
celebrating.
footage of that, though. Is there?
No footage.
No footage.
Not allowed in court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Oh,
just
the
wondered.
tape exists.
Exactly. Okay. Ben Roethlisberger just this Sunday was fined $5,000 for wearing an Apple Watch on the sideline.
NFL doesn't
Probably
like Apple,
because
though.
it wasn't a Microsoft Surface.
That's correct.
Okay, good
Yeah.
stuff. He straps one of those to
Or a
his
$300,000
wrist. He's fine.
gold watch that OBJ gave.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Golden Tate was suspended 4 games for use of a fertility drug. Vincent Jackson, back when he played with the Chargers, was suspended for 3 games for driving without a license.
What if you just
How
forgot
dare
it?
you?
And Terrell Pryor, does anybody remember this? He got a 5-game suspension in the NFL for violating NCAA rules for, trading his jersey for a tattoo.
Right. Oh.
Because, he should go to jail. Oh, Jesus. They can read your thoughts now.
Yeah.
They can read your thoughts.
Just
Get it
hold
back
it
on.
tight.
And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but in the Falcons in 2016 were fined $350,000 and docked a 5th-round draft pick, and their president, Rich McKay, was banned from the competition committee for 3 months for
3 months?
playing noise in their stadium.
Is that the 3 months where they don't meet?
Here's where it gets really good.
Gosh, you're
When the
still
new
going.
conduct policy came out, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft actually said, I hope this sends a message to people for how the league should conduct itself. We have to be careful. People in America can't relate to overindulged athletes not acting responsibly. Apparently, he didn't think owners fell underneath this
Well,
policy.
he drove his blue Bentley, and not his yellow one.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
overindulgent.
wasn't crass.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I have no thoughts.
They've
This
been-
is
they-
crazy.
Take off the foil hat,
This is the
then.
most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. There's no fine, no comment, no one's talking about it.
None.
I do not understand.
None.
You can literally. Adrian Peterson was fined for spanking his own child,
With a tree.
allegedly.
Allegedly. You're right. No footage.
There's no
footage.
Well, it's a stitch.
Oh,
Just to be-
switch.
Switch.
Wait,
Sorry.
you've
Switch.
never been spanked.
close.
It's called
So
go
close.
get a switch.
I know. Good call.
Now, there's
Not that
people.
way.
There's players that in every day of every game in their entire NFL career, Deion Sanders included, that were fined for violation of uniforms, whether their socks were too low or no knee pads, etc., etc. Every single game, there's people with built-in fines. I was reading about this, and it's part of their wage. They just, here's your money, NFL,
Sure.
because I'm wearing my shirt too long or too short, or I don't have something tucked in. Ridiculous. I think it's all has to do with sponsorship. Robert Kraft going to get a handy from somebody in a strip mall doesn't affect the NFL at all in their minds. If you have, and the Apple Watch is in a Microsoft, it's an all money making deal. So if you make the NFL or their sponsors look bad in any sort of way, you'll get the fine. If it doesn't affect them, or there's, like you said, no video, they're players driving without a license. That gives them a bad rap, right? These guys, we have a car service, so that's why you got fined, because you didn't use the NFL's car service to get himself home. I think it's stuff like that when it directly relates to the sponsorship and what's going on in the NFL.
So if Robert Kraft had jerked off onto a Papa John's pizza, this is a big deal.
Fine.
Yeah.
If he jerked off on a Microsoft Surface,
which we've all done,
right?
Oh, sorry. Was this on air?
Sorry.
Oh,
but I think it has to do with that. It's the sponsorship situation,
right, Coach?
Yeah.
Coach,
Guilty.
We have video of that.
Help me out, Coach. Well, the camera turns on. That's what happens,
right?
Yeah.
No, but I think it's because he's a rich owner, and the old boys club that are all part of the rich owners group in the NFL. They're all saying, "Well, we don't want to fine him for that because, well, then we can't do it."
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's
they're taking care of
most
each other.
logical point of this is you don't want to start finding yourselves as that group. They have a committee for that, so it would create a larger sort of snowball effect for these owners, right? The players themselves, they're employees and all that stuff, so you treat them differently. That's just how the world works, right? So that's the mindset, I believe, is they're just
Panthers,
like, well, I'm an owner.
They had to sell the Panthers for a comment that the owner made.
No, he touched some ass.
Did he?
He grabbed ass. But
Okay,
still,
but
he grabbed ass.
billion-dollar
He didn't insist
company.
on getting a handy by
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
look
that's
at
different
Donald
'cause-
Snyder, what's his face, Sterling from the Clippers. Same
sure.
thing. He said some comments that he's like, I don't want my girlfriend hanging out with rich athletes, black or white. It didn't matter. So, but he has to sell his team. The Panthers have to sell their team, and nothing happens to Kraft.
But the other half is you probably got clicks in these organizations that are like, okay, we don't like that owner and we don't like that owner. There's probably guys they want to get rid of, and they're looking for ways to get rid of them. Kraft is obviously not one of those guys. He's obviously one of the core group that basically help run the league effectively. But if you're one of those outside owners, like I couldn't name any because I don't know any of them that are in or out.
They're trying to get rid of Mark Davis.
Sure,
right?
I'm sure they are. But those are the guys that if don't get on the wrong side of this ownership group, because that's the cool clique of owners.
So we're not done, NFL.
Yeah,
We're not going to forget.
We're looking at you, Kraft.
That's
We're
right.
coming for you.
Oh no!
We're looking at you, Goodell. That's what we're looking at. Do something.
We'll return right after this quick message.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alec Lifshos, a.k.a. Trey Busy, and I'm here to have a conversation with you guys about mental health. A lot of times in our communities, we don't talk about mental health enough, and it goes under the radar as a reoccurring issue. So I took the liberty to create the Let's Talk It Out podcast. This podcast was created to break the silence on mental health issues and to give a voice to those suffering. I have conversations with professionals in the mental health field as well as those who are suffering, and we break down different ways to stump stigmas and ways to cope with mental health conditions. The show is broadcasted live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Mixlr.com/LTIO podcast. That's MIXLR.com/LTIO podcast. If you can't make the live recording of the podcast, then you can find the podcast available to you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Give the podcast a follow on Twitter and Instagram at LTIO Podcast on both platforms. Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the future.
We now return to our program.
Fourth down.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Do you confess?
Shame. 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 Shame.
Welcome to one and all to NFL Confessions, where we confess on behalf of people in the NFL. We'll also confess some of our sins about what we know or don't know about the NFL.
We mostly don't know.
I'd
Correct.
say mostly don't.
Mostly don't.
Are you ready to begin your confession, my son,
Yes, Father.
sister? Let us commence your confession. If you're Daniel Snyder, would you ever confess, even to yourself, to being the problem in Washington?
Absolutely not.
Sister.
Sister.
Sorry. May I go first, Father?
Yes.
I think when you're a billionaire and your ego is that big, you would never pinpoint yourself. It's always someone else's problem.
Okay. Father?
I think as a God-fearing man, he must confess that he is the problem. He must look internal. He must look to himself for the problems and solve from within. And then search for answers without
What solves the problem in Washington?
removing himself.
And that's him?
Yeah.
And that's him. So there's nothing else below Snyder that could possibly change the situation in Washington.
Possibly the GM could work to get some actual players that play football.
Oh,
That would be good too.
nice.
But the owner must take accountability.
Throwing shade at Case Keenum, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to throw for 5,000 yards if he didn't get hurt.
Did
this
He
Denver
doesn't
likes-
play anymore.
I know.
Next up.
Okay.
Would you confess to not knowing what the Dolphins lead the league in right now?
Yeah.
I would absolutely confess that.
I was digging through stats because when
Deep
I
dive.
defrock myself, I'm known as Stats Guy. That's
Oh.
what I do.
Oh. Frock. It's a funny word.
It is good.
You go frock yourself.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Kraft did.
No, someone else frocked
Right.
him.
Right.
That's right,
Sorry.
He
He got frocked.
Yes, he did
I'm
get
not familiar
frocked.
with
He
all
got
that,
hand
so-
frocked.
Yeah. If he frocked himself, he wouldn't have been in the trouble.
He should start hand frocking.
Frock
Yes.
himself.
Exactly.
All right.
Should be on the
Yes.
NFL's
Let's get the frock out of here.
Yeah.
conduct
Let's keep
policy.
frocking moving.
Okay. The Dolphins currently lead the NFL in fewest penalties per game.
Hey!
Isn't that amazing?
Well, you got to try to get penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't even hold. They're that bad. They can't even hold.
I don't even care to
yeah.
hold.
No, he got past me.
Nah, sorry.
No,
sorry,
you know what? He's
sorry.
He's got
what
it.
are you going to do?
It's all
All
good.
right,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay.
Good job. Nice move.
Yeah, it's not bad. If you celebrate with the opposing
You're
team in
fine,
the end
you're
zone,
fine.
is that a penalty?
That's right.
Oh,
Look at this bald spot I got.
I like it. Jeez,
It's
that,
really
you are
nice.
really losing your hair. Didn't want to be the first to tell you.
There's some in your drink there.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
At least that's what it is.
Yeah.
Instead of something Kraft left behind. If you're a Bears fan, would you confess that it looks like you're playing for second place in the NFC North?
No.
No.
Because a true fan will never relent and always cheer and always think that you'll win.
So delusion is a major part of being a
No,
fan.
Have you-
father.
Faith.
Faith.
Faith, hope, and love.
Boy, I'm jaded.
Faith. Wow.
Faith.
I have faith if I'm a Bears fan,
Yes.
diehard Bears fan in Chicago,
Yes.
that they are going to win, still going to win the division. I would not confess. Then you'd get kicked out of Chicago. 100 years of Cubs futility, and they always thought that was the year. They never gave up hope.
As a Bears fan, we must have faith
Yeah.
that Rodgers gets hurt. Both of them. Both of the Rodgers, actually.
Yeah.
Roger twins
Gets
must get
hurt.
hurt, and we will pray for that.
I like it.
Yes, we will pray for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we pray for a speedy return of he who shall be named Mitchell. Okay. There's nobody else. I gotta tell you, there's nobody else.
Is Forte coming back?
Yes. Right. Cutler?
Oh, don't even do
Ooh.
that. Don't even do that. Why would
just
you
on
do
reality
that?
TV. He
Why would
knows
you
the
do that?
offense.
I'm sorry. That was too far.
That's
I
not
apologize.
conspiracy.
No,
We were
that's
talking about that
that's tough.
conspiracy.
That's a tough one. Okay, next up. If you're a Chargers fan, would you confess that you know Phillip Rivers will never win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yes. And just be happy that he has so many children of his own.
To console him.
Yes.
Yeah,
To
when he
make his
flames
life-
out in the first round of the playoffs
To make
as
his
a
life
wild
full.
card on the road.
He's such a
full.
nice person that no one will tell him to his face, but they all admit that they're waiting for him to retire. Because they
Really?
know he can't win a Super Bowl.
So they're just being nice to him in LA.
Yes.
I still think San Diego, by the way. I'll always think San
It's
Diego.
always
not
San
the
Diego.
only
to
one.
me.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
always.
So they
What's
think
their-
that in San Diego, huh?
Oh, in San Diego they don't.
Because
Yeah.
LA's
They
not
would
actually
never
not even
admit.
sure if they have the Chargers there
No.
or not. I think LA still thinks they're San Diego Chargers.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like, why do they keep playing
So
home
it's an
games
away
up here?
game?
Yeah.
Now,
hell?
wait, now
We're playing Cincinnati up here.
I think Philip
Go to
Rivers,
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Play there.
6.
Philip
Their
Rivers
stadium.
will win a Super Bowl when he becomes part of the coaching staff of the Chargers.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah,
think
he'll
no
win as a
way.
coordinator.
No. He would never become part of the coaching staff because he can't extricate himself from his brood down in San
brood,
Diego, which
12
he
kids.
won't move.
9 now.
And by the way,
It's just 9?
God bless you, son, for never using protection.
Right.
Okay.
Every sperm is sacred.
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
We here in the church approve.
Next up,
Mm.
if you're a Bills fan, would you confess that the team is playing way above their heads than their 4-1 record suggests?
Blasphemy!
Curses!
How dare you say that? How darest you?
Father! Sorry.
Brother?
Watch your tone! Still the
Dare
host!
you? Man.
Damn me!
Yes, damn! You!
How dare thy forsaketh my
Shame!
show
Shame!
and my good questions
Shame!
with just a question!
Shame!
Shame.
Shame.
So you're a Bills fan then? I think we'll see how it goes until it starts snowing.
Oh.
And then we'll see if they're the real team.
So you think a good defense is going to get worse in snow?
Their game. Well, it depends. You're not going to be thrown as much. How's
true.
their running game?
How's their passing game?
Gore's a
The
monster.
AFC East is
Gore's a
garbage,
monster.
Garbage.
I think they're
Division.
going to win game 7-3 from November on.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you got to do.
Are they this year's version of the 2001 Ravens?
Could they be?
Closest thing I've seen for a while.
They get 4 victories basically a year playing the Jets and Dolphins. So
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, they could be
Especially
8
this year.
8-8 if all goes well.
So you think they're playing below their 4-1 record?
I think the Bills are a wait-and-see team. They get us all
So
hyped
that's a
up.
yes.
They were 5-0
That's a yes.
2-3 seasons ago. 5-0,
Confesses.
and they ended up 5-12 or 5-11. Do you remember that when they were 5-0 to start and then lost 11 in a row?
I don't remember.
No, it's like San Francisco 49ers right now. Garbage, garbage.
The one loss from the Bills, though, I mean, that was a game
The
that they could've
Patriots
won.
was a good Patriots team.
And that was the
We'll
game
see
they
though
could've
when the
won.
weather changes if they're the team we think they are. I'm more of a wait and see with the Bills.
I have faith.
I'll pray for them. I will pray for them.
Thank you. Okay, well, that puts a wrap on this week's show. Holy
God,
shit.
I'm so
Special
hot.
thanks to the sub for
Thanks for
filling
having
in.
me.
Sister, well done.
Sweating here.
And to the barkeep for another awesome drink that blended into the background.
I liked it.
Good. If you want to see or hear more episodes of Blitz, just visit blitzfootball.com. They're all there. Shut up. Thanks for getting Blitz with us. See you next week.